Hello, how many in SQL Server? You know how many instances can install a single computer and how many databases support in a single instance? How many file group can create in a single instance? And how many objects support in a database? And how many indexes can create in a single table? Then watch this video. First, how many SQL Server instances can support in a single computer? That is 50. We can create 50 instances in a single computer. 15 database engine can run in a single computer. SQL Server 2022 support up to 50 instances of database engine on a single computer. That is one default instance and other named instance. Next, how many databases support in a single SQL Server instance? That is 32,767. In SQL Server, we can create 32,767 database. Next, how many file groups support per database in SQL Server? Also, how many file support per database in SQL Server? Both are 32,767. SQL Server support 32,767 file groups per database. SQL support 32,767 files per database. So database, file groups, files all are up to 32,767. What is the maximum storage size of SQL Server database? That is 524,272 terabytes. Well, huge. SQL Server support maximum 524,272 terabytes per database. In that, data files 16 terabytes and log file size is 2 terabytes. That means single data files contain maximum 16 terabytes and log file contain 2 terabytes. So if we need to store more than 16 terabytes data, what we will do? Then we need to create secondary storage. Then we can create additional files. Next, how many tables can create in a single SQL Server database? Also, how many objects can create in single SQL Server database? That depends on the objects. We can create maximum of tables or maximum of objects. That means table per database is limited by total number of objects in the database. That is 2 billion 147 million 483 and 647 objects. This is the maximum size of objects. SQL Server objects includes tables, views, stored procedures, user-defined function, triggers, rules, default, and constraints. The total number of objects is indicated up to 2147, 483, 647. And how many columns can create in a single table in SQL Server? That is 1024. SQL Server support up to 1024 columns per table. Also, in a view, columns per view is 1024. Columns per insert statement is 4096. Columns for select statement is 4096. Column for update statement is maximum 4096. Also, foreign key table reference per table is 253. That is, outgoing is 253. Then incoming is 10,000. One table can refer other 10,000 table. Then, how many indexes support in a SQL Server table? That is 1000. SQL Server support 1000 indexes in a table. That means we can allow maximum one clustered index and all other non-clustered indexes. If we didn't create the clustered index, then we can up to 1000 non-clustered index. And some of the other count. Columns per index key up to 32. Columns for foreign key or primary key, we can include up to 32. Bytes for index key 900 bytes for the clustered index. And in the case of non-clustered index, we can include 1700 bytes. Bytes per foreign key, 900 bytes. Bytes per primary key, also 900. Then bytes per row, 8060. Apart from this, any blob storage is support, it's storing from the separately. Then last, how many parameters support in stored procedure or user-defined functions? That is 2100. Parameter for stored procedure is 2100. Also parameter in user-defined function also 2100. Okay, that includes this video. Hope we will help this video. Thank you for watching. Please support and subscribe the channel.